At the core, each of us has been irresistibly drawn to this form of racing and remain, at the heart of it all, simply fans. Fans in the most irrational way. It has driven us to stray miles from home and to ignore any weather forecast we choose not to believe. We won't apologize for our love of these big cars and have long since given up any attempt to explain it all to those who just can't understand. Harold Osmer Automotive Book Review. Rolling Thunder. Silver Crown cars. USAC Silver Crown cars. This is a book put out just a couple years ago in 21 by USAC, go figure. And it's a record book. It's broken down by decades, and it goes year by year or season by season as it happens to be, and tells who won what, gives you the race recap, the story on the race, where they finished, how they finished, all that sort of business. And it has the complete points, the complete driver list, the owner list, the whole shooting match. That's terrific. A book like this is invaluable to any historian or any fan of the game because it's so much nicer and easier to just pick up a book and flip through it and find what you're looking for without having to pick up your stupid little phone thing and try to figure out and read things on this tiny little screen. This is a much better way to go. I'm really glad they did this. Which brings us back to Silver Crown. What in the world is that? Well, in the world of USAC racing today, generally speaking, we have three divisions: midgets, sprint cars, and Silver Crown. And it comes down to a matter of wheelbase and power plant. For a midget, you're looking up to about 76 inches and four-cylinder engine. Sprint cars go up to 90 inches and have up to a 410 cubic inches on their engine. Silver Crown runs a 360 and they're at 96 inches. So it's roughly a foot difference in the wheelbase for each division, the midgets, the sprint cars, and the Silver Crown. Something that's really wonderful about it that helps attract a lot of fans to the sport or keep fans into the sport is the seating position is very upright. You don't lay down in these things. They don't do it for the sprints, midgets, or Silver Crown. So you have this traditional tie to the seating position, and it just, I think it makes the game a whole lot better. And this book addresses some of that. Now, as I mentioned, the chapters are broken down roughly into decades from 71 through 2020. And it describes any of the major rule changes that went on to accommodate new technology and things of that nature. There was a failed effort to get the Silver Crowns to run with some sort of body work on them and introduce some aerodynamics and this sort of thing, and it was just, it didn't work, and they addressed that here. There was also a time, usually in the late 70s, let's call it, where the guys from last year were running last year's car, and they're still going to run it again next year, and it was getting to be kind of a tired show, so they had to address those issues as well. Now, a Silver Crown car with that longer wheelbase is better suited to the mile tracks than the smaller tracks. They run on some half-mile tracks as well, but really they're better at the larger tracks. And what that did, especially in the early days, is that helped train the drivers for longer races. Back when USAC was in charge of running the Indy 500, this was the route to get to the Indy 500. You have longer wheelbase, bigger tracks, a little bit higher speed, longer races as well. You run 50 laps, you're running 50 miles, which is more than a sprint race, which, by the way, is why they call them sprint races. That's another book. And so you get that. So that's where the training ground was. Some of the drivers that were involved, I mean, it's like a who's who of drivers. A.J. Foyt, Unser, Tom Bigelow, Mario Andretti, Jimmy Carruthers, Sheldon Kinzer. More into the modern era, we have Dave Darlin, Ryan Newman, Jason Leffler, Swanson and Swanson, Tanner and Cody, Chris Wyndham, and even Justin Grant. Justin Grant doing pretty good this year early on in the sprint cars, and he also won Turkey Night a couple years ago. Yeah, we like Justin Grant. Good guy. Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon liked the Silver Crown cars, and that was one place that they could prove their mettle to the guys up top. So when they stepped into NASCAR, they had a little bit of record that they could show for it. Rolling Thunder is a hardcover book. It covers 50 years of USAC Silver Crown racing, 1971 to 2020, of course. There are 4 authors, they're calling it, and most of the text is the race report that USAC puts out. So you get that, and that's why we got 4 guys. We got Bob Mays, Richie Murray, Patrick Sullivan, and John Mahoney. 370 pages, there's loads of pictures, and a bunch of them are in color, which is terrific. We just love it. It's a great book, easy to read. You can go, 1 year, or look at a whole bunch of years if you want. Silver Crown, I asked Dick Jordan, who was the PR guy, or I don't know what his role was actually. I think he was the PR guy for USAC. Passed away, nice fella. I played foosball with him in his basement a couple of times. Wonder what happened to all his stuff. I don't know. If you know, you can put it in the comments down below. That'd be great. I asked him about why are they called Silver Crown cars. And he said that in the early years of the division, they were sponsored by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. Okay, made sense. They liked the name. So even when Coors Light went away, they stuck with the Silver Bullet, or the Silver Crown for these cars. All right, easy enough. Now, I haven't found anything else anywhere else or anybody else who can confirm that. So there we are. Either way, they're Silver Crown cars. They're way fast. The long wheelbase is good fun. They run typically on the mile tracks. They run pavement and dirt. And there's plenty of pictures of both in here through all these years, these 50 years, and you get the complete record. It's wonderful. I just eat this kind of thing up. And if you get a chance, pick one of these up. It's terrific. It's from Fast Track Publishing. I'm sure somebody will put it down in the thing below there, a nice link so you can pick up your copy of Rolling Thunder, 50 Years of USAC Silver Crown Racing, 1971 through 2020. I liked it. It's Harold Osmer, Automotive Book Reviews.